Been up to these days?
Well, I've just been skiing. It's very, very good too. It was a bit slushy at the top of the mountain, but if I can get out every morning, I feel really good. You know, just get about 3 hours, and then get on with. The reason I came up to the mountains was a bit of solitude, and to be able to really work hard. I really feel that this period of time in my life, especially, is the sort of middle of my career, and I really wanted to channel the energy into a lot of different kinds of music.
You formed Yes back in 1968 with Chris Squire. How did that come about?
Well, I was always frightened of being a one-hit wonder. It's a well-known phrase in England. You know, you have one hit and that's the end of you, you know, and a record company and a management will get as much out of you as they can. So when we started the Yes band, we definitely veered away from the single market, and we veered away from the normal sort of publicity sort of style. I think the first couple of years we were, well, they called us sort of avant-garde, but I don't think we were. We were just afraid of, you know, making it big and then being nothing 2 months later. And that year spawned about 5 groups that are still happening major at the moment. You know, if you think about it, Zeppelin and Genesis and Yes, ELP and these bands were all, and Deep Purple were all happening in '68. So there was a sort of musical revolution to get away from the pop feel. Even though we didn't speak to each other, I think there was a general vibe that we should really try and be a bit more adventurous. So the idea of getting Yes together was to be a bit more adventurous, I think.
Many years, why do you think that is?
It had a lot to do with music. I've analysed it, actually. There was a time towards the end of the 70s when punk, you know, there was disco, which was major pop, and then punk came in, which was major pop. It was very commercial, very aggressive and very commercial. And then what happened in the late 70s, early 80s, the video world opened up, MTV. And what happened then was that instead of bands or artists going out on the road and learning a craft, they could just get in front of a camera and be mega. Whether they could handle it on stage or handle a big audience, it didn't matter. They were selling records and MTV was pushing that energy. And what happened over a period of 5 years, there was a sort of void of very strong talent for stage, which left an opening for bands like Yes and Deep Purple and all these guys to keep moving slowly through it.
Do you remember the first time you came to America?
Very vividly, yeah.
What was that like for you?
It was amazing to play in front of so many people every other night. You know, we were on tour with Jethro Tull, and it was extraordinary to have these audiences that were so, I don't know, they gave so much energy to us. We just got better every night. That tenors, I'm an alto tenor, which is just higher than a tenor, get to their best if they look after themselves between the age of 45 and 55. That's why Pavarotti is as great as he is. He's nearly, I think he's 50, I think, 51. But he is as great as he is because he has kept up the quality of his voice. I'm very fortunate because when I get out on stage, I know some of the guys in the crew, they call me Iron Lungs because I don't stop. When I'm singing, I've got to sing every night. I don't want to have a break. I can sing 6, 7 gigs in a row and powerfully, you know, really, because I'm rising above a big band, you know, volume and sound-wise and colour. So to sing and really sing on top of it, it's not that I strain my voice, I just seem to let it happen. That's one of the things I learned 3 or 4 years ago. Instead of pushing your voice out, just believe that it's going to sing. And sometimes it's a very, I wouldn't say eerie, but it's a kind of strange thing because sometimes I'm singing on stage and I know it's not me. there's an energy flying in and just kicking out the voice. It's to me, it gets very spiritual up there, to be honest, and I love that.
I think I better leave this to you. You're much better at this.
Wonderful.
Much better, much better. If it's not this way, it's not
you know your own instrument, you know.
Yeah.
I've been messing around with these keyboards for years, really.
Do you ever stop?
I don't get too heavy about it.
You have so many projects going. Do you ever stop creating?
No.
I didn't think so.
I've just been very, I suppose the word is fortunate to understand that if you grow properly over the years, you can really discover incredible potential within that can manifest itself through music. So I don't think of myself only as a singer. I think I'm just learning to become a composer as well. Very interested in symphonic music and all these other stuff, you know, tons of it.
Now, you have this on stage.
I know.
I think every time I've ever seen you.
I know.
Please explain that.
Basically, it's a sign for an album that I recorded in 1976. It was the first solo album that I did.
Now, John, from what I understand, you are very, very interested in Native American spirituality. Well, spirituality in general. But I noticed you have a tent.
Yeah, we've got to go to the tent.
Now, I just want you to know that this tent is set up in John's room.
I know.
And this is, now you take this on the road, don't you?
Yeah. Mind you, it's a big room, so I thought I'd fill it with the tent. But one of the things that traveling around does to you, it gets you sort of a little bit wired up when you go to a show and you want to go backstage into your dressing room and you want it to be good in the dressing room, get ready for the show, you want to relax a bit. And usually, you know, dressing rooms are not that cool, you know, they're sort of, sometimes they're just places where people get ready for a hockey game or, you know, whatever. It's just not conducive to relaxing for me anyway. So about 8 years ago, I got this tent, and the idea was that wherever I am, I'm still in this place, you know, whatever room this tent is in, I'm still in the tent, and I've got my little things that I carry around with me, and it makes me feel more comfortable and ready to perform, and it helps me relax and meditate before a show. And as I say, I've probably got a phobia about bad dressing rooms, so this really works.
So do you come in the tent while you're home? Is this
sometimes? Yeah, I find it very interesting because every day I'm on tour, I'll come backstage and I can't wait to get in the tent. You know, just sit back and let the whole day pass me by and then get ready for the show, because that's why I'm there. That's the most important thing. And the same happens, you know, when I'm working on so many different kinds of things, music and everything, that it's nice to pop in here and just relax, you know.
And do you get any sort of people sort of making fun of you, like the other guys in the band?
Of course.
Somehow I just can't see Chris hanging out in the tent.
No, he's never been near it.
No, I just can't see it.
I think he popped his head around the corner once, and I quickly, "Hi, John." And not many people think of it as well, maybe they think it's just a quirk of my imagination, but I know what it does for me, and it works.